What's going on, y'all? We watching The Omens. We breaking down The Omens. Now, the movie The Omens really means the sign, because a omen means signs, and also omen is also code for Amen, which Amen means the hidden one, the horn god. As you can see, is showing the boy, right? Silhouette would appear to be a inverted pyramid. An inverted cross. And the knife stemming up to the boy. And the knife is cutting into the boy, and you see the red is representing the bloodline. Silhouette on the right of the cross, on the left of the cross, sorry, you can see an eye, a nose, and the mouth. And how the black part of the boy represented the pineal, the melon, the energy, because it's showing you a silhouette of a head on the left hand side, and how the black part is the illuminated part of the boy, the glow, the pineal, which makes 666, 6 electrons, 6 protons, and 6 neutrons. So the movie start off with Damien's supposed father in the back of a vehicle. Now the June 6 a.m. is 666 because June is the 6th month, right? So as you can see, it's starting off with 666. What also caught my attention to the father, you would notice that the tie is likened to an eye. You see? It's likened to a reptile eye. Take your own discretion on how you interpret it. I might add that, remember, where Rome is where the most powerful high priest is, known to be the heads of the church, which is the Vatican. Alright? Now the father was in the car, and the priest had told the father in the car that the child is dead. So what happened is his actual biological child died. So right now he's in the church or whatever it is, but you would notice that the floor is checkered floor. It's no mistake, because it's identifying with a order, the secret society, Mystery Incorporated, right? Because it's a mystery connected to this boy, that this boy is in connection to this whole order, the white and the black, from darkness to light, and how the light is also dark. Because you'll notice that when the father was in the car, when I showed you the eye, that was the tie.
The same images in Leonardo da Vinci painting, one side light, the other side dark.
That you would notice that it showed one side of the father faces light and the other side being dark, likened to the painting of the image of Leonardo da Vinci. This is how deep the secrecy is. The father told, which is the priest, told the father, because again, his child died in the birth. The mother don't know. So the priest is saying to him that he can adopt this child, Damien. He said that the father said that she wanted a child bad, so bad. But notice before he said that, the priest placed his fingers to his mouth, as in secrecy. Not to say, not to tell, but to identify just how secret this information is regarding this boy. And here's the priest with his finger to his mouth. It was stated that when the children of Adam was created, and this is dealing with the mystery on the Islamic Sufism, that when the children or offspring of Adam were created, that the angels placed a finger to their mouth, which left an imprint that they would not be able to know the mysteries and things, which left that imprint between our lips, the groove is the groove of silence, is the groove of secrecy.
Goes as follows. In the Talmud, when a baby is conceived, God sends forth an angel, perhaps the Archmichael, to teach the baby the entire Bible, all of the wonders and secrets of the universe and of God's love as he rests his mother. When he finishes the lesson, the angel presses his finger to the child's lips, forming the philtrum as a sign that he or she has indeed come to understand God in all his glory. The angel then admonishes the child to never reveal anything of what he has been told to any living creature. Upon birth, the infant will then forget all that he had been taught. Now, this information is also in the Sufism, the Sufi information of esoteric information.
You'll notice that the nun is holding this Damien baby, right? The father is looking through, like into a veil. You know how when a child is normally born, how the parents can see the child and like into the hospital. Now, why is this child being held by a nun? Not a nurse, let alone by a woman in the checkerboard color garments of white and black, holding a child. You see, the child is in Rome. A nun is holding the baby. Don't you think that's a little bit odd and unusual that it's not a nurse holding the baby? The mother is unseen, right? And the father is looking as if it's reflecting like a veil. See what I mean? It's like this child is not of this world, because we see the father in the reflection of the priest in the other side of the left or his right in the reflected mirror, to identify that as if this child is not of this world or of that realm, and how my inner eye see. You see what I mean? Like this here. Who is she looking up to? Why is the priest looking so concerned and yet in a mystique, mystery, but yet sinister kind of look? So the priest said that the child resembles, as if to say the child resembles her child that died. Now, did the child, was his original child sacrificed to replace this child with their own? What caught my attention more about this is that ever since I was little, maybe 3 or 4, whenever Damien used to come on, my father used to always set me in front of the TV to watch it and leave me. That's not something the father's supposed to let a child watch. And I grew up watching Damien 1 and Damien 2. I find that a little bit odd, but okay. Okay, so the priest said the mother died at the same moment their child died. Remember in the Da Vinci Code, that in the Da Vinci Code they speak about the orbs, those circular orbs. You will notice that those orbs is symbolic of a mystery, and they're connected to a high society. That circle orb is next to the boy, right? But I find it ironic that the child died, his child died, as well as Damien's mother died. Both died at the same time. A sacrifice to give birth to, or rather, the child was already birthed, but to be given to from one realm. You see the glass, the mirror? A mirror. You see the mirror reflecting, and mirror and a mirror is also a code word in itself to identify with something else in the mystery. Yeah, I might add that when he walked in the room, he told his wife, he says, "Here's your son," right? So it leads me to believe that either the father wasn't by his mother his wife's side. He wasn't by her side when she was giving birth, and he had to rush to get to her side, possibly, and they could be at a high influential hospital where the child is born, child's mother died, and her child's died, as we understand that a little more. And he present the baby to the mother as if the child is actually hers, but as we go on, we'll find you'll learn a little bit more. It always wondered, and my family knowing people in the know about my family, that my father's favorite word he used to always say is bastard. Goddamn bastard. Stupid bastard. Man, my father called us bastard so much, man. And my father wasn't one to cuss. You know? I love my father. My father was a Mason. And my father's father was a third degree Mason, 33 and a third. And my father's mother was a Eastern Star. So it's a lot of similarities, a lot of similarities is connected in this movie. I have nothing negative to say about Masons. I respect them. And because my father was, and my family is in that royal bloodline, I don't speak negative of them. I respect the art. Moving on. You'll notice in this scene that when the father walks in, the father walks what appears to be as he was walking up and down the stairs, that it resembled a portal or a spacecraft. Just how my eyes seen. As you will see that when the father greets his wife, she say, "What you doing home so early?" And he makes that hand gesture. You know, he could have held her around the waist, but he holds this symbol which represents a W, but the W is really an M. And notice Damien's colors. The mother's wearing purple. This boy is wearing, Damien is wearing gray and black. And you will notice the lion next to him, what represents that lion, that bloodline. Let's zoom in. And above the boy head catches my attention because everything is being done is done by strategic and systematically. And what appear to be 3 over his head and 2 lamps on the right. That number 32 again. And this is the part that caught my attention when he was coming down the staircase. Why even show that to identify with a portal or a spaceship or a cipher? A circle represent a cipher, right? And then as he come down, then he meets his wife, is wearing the purple, and Damien standing on the desk. But what caught my attention more is the word that he say, right? I muted it, y'all. Don't want no copyright strike. So the father come down the stairs and she says to him, "So what are you doing home so early?" He say, "Just came to start packing." And he emphasized on remember packing. What I told y'all what the left-hand path mean. Satanism, witchcraft, Um, it's a code gesture that's been used by those in the know, you see. And she throws this up on Damien when she reached to grab him. You know, most people either, well, it can be taken as we use that at times too when we picking a person up. We cuff and we lace the thumb up to be able to cuff the child, right? Or we can use our hands to grip the child on the side to pick them up. But I just find that ironic that that's being shown. Because surely she could have just scooped him up by the butt and her right hand scooped him by the chest, as a lot of parents do. Remember I told you about that orb? And how in the Da Vinci Code, when it speaks about how the orbs represent a high-level secret society, they say the Illuminati when they show the orb. What's your thoughts? Zero in on this. This is the father, Damon's mother and father. They're coming around the turnings lane, right? As they turn left, and it's showing the left blinker, the left light, right? But what caught my attention more is, why is it saying USA 1? His father is the ambassador. He was just elected the ambassador, a high-ranking position. Remember, Rome is not a part of the United States of America. Rome is connected to Italy. So why is it showing USA 1? This is the code to identify that this child is here in USA, United States of America, right? And of course that light is representing the path of the left again. The mystic, the mystery, mysticism, witchcraft, sultry, Satanism, to just identify with a child of a higher melanated energy.
Mute this. So she's going to lead him into the room. She said, come on, pretty much, let me show you something. She said, now this is what they call his day room. He said, oh, his day room?
Now this is what they call his day room. Now, remember, Damien has day, me, in it. Day means light. Remember, God called the day light and called that light day. And he separated the darkness and the light to identify one being good, one being bad. But remember, I showed you and told you in previous ontology teaching that when you say the word day, it means light. So she's identifying that this room, as you will move on more, is identifying with being Damien's day room, as is his room in which he do the work. What's even more important, you will notice that she's going to walk. And when she says this is his day room, she's going to walk towards the symbol. Remember I told you and showed you the image of the serpent on a pole, which represents the pineal, which represents which represents the kundalini rising up the base of the spine. You're going to notice that the mother's going to stop right at the point where the serpent going up the spine is connected. Watch.
So, how do you like
Look,
it
she stopped right there. She say, so, how do you like it so far? What's important you're going to watch when she's going to say, look, I got to add some books. I got to warm it up, right? The light represents the sun is that which gives us warmth. When she said, I got to get some books, I got to warm it up, she's going to cue in by turning her head to look at Damien. Damien's on the other side of the window. She's going to look. This is how key the mother is. Let me zoom in so you can see what I said as far as the serpent on a pole, right? That's connected to the same image. His back has the image of the serpent on the pole, which is the kundalini, as is hers. This represents the room of the work, where the work is done, where that energy and connection of male and female, black and white is done. But it's Damien who's doing this work. She's going to look that way. She's going to say, gotta warm it up. When she turn her head, then he's going to cue in and he's going to look to identify who his day room is. It's Damien. Watch.
Said, what? I need some books. I need to warm it up. Then she gonna look at Damien, then her man, and then she cued him to look at Damien because he's the one that's gonna warm it up. More clear pictures, you can see the light and the shadow. Stay tuned for part 2 on the mysteries of the omens.